What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we've got another Dumont fragrance for you guys that was sent over my way by the good folks at Perfume Box. They are an official distributor for Dumont. They are linked down below if you want to check them out with the discount code. Obviously, you don't have to make any purchases or anything like that. If you just want to check out the review, I appreciate you being here. And speaking of, today we are reviewing Soprano Elite, which I find eerily similar to the Le Male family, but more so Prada Rossa Sport because of the woody nuance that I get here. But the caveat here is it performs even better. That's always good, right? So let's discuss. Stay tuned. Let's check out the bottle, shall we? It has this brown gradient hue to it with this matte gold finish. As Soprano Elite. Have this Finucci logo because they have subsidiary brand names, just like a Paris Corner has Pandora scents and so on. Same thing here. Eau de Parfum does hold into place. This is a lot of plastic. It's nothing special in the cap. And the atomizer, it's okay. Does a good job. Let's talk about this scent. So when this opens up, I'll have the notes on screen, but obviously the biggest thing here is what does it smell like? The notes are one thing, but how you perceive it is something totally different sometimes. And this smells very much like Le Male. Aromatic green, a little sweet, soapy, clean. Smells like that 90s classic. But I do get an enhanced woody nuance here, a slight creamy and sweet woody tone as it dries. I do get more of the woods up front than I do in Prada Rossa Sport even, but that's why it reminds me more of Prada Luna Rossa Sport than actual Le Male because of the woody nuance. But as it dries, that's when the woody nuance comes in even more. It's a bit on the creamy side. Could be due to the sweetness, and I mean, there's other underlying factors on why it would do that. But why would I say get this over Prada Luna Rossa Sport? Well, for one thing, I would say Prada Luna Rossa Sport over Le Male, as I always have, because the quality is better. And the woody nuance I find to be a welcomed addition to an already timeless scent profile. I just think it's superior. Well, now you enhance this with even better performance, with similar to quality to Prada Luna Rossa Sport, because I wouldn't say it's like miles better than Prada Luna Rossa Sport. Quality, pretty much on par with it, but it performs a lot better, which we'll get into in a little bit. So it's really that simple. There's not a whole lot to just kind of harp on with nuance because it is that simple. You get this aromatic lavender heavy tone, a nice green hit, you get some sweetness, you get a, like I said, a good bit of that green feel that really ties it to Le Male. And it's a bit on the powdery side, which Le Male is, which Prada Luna Rossa Sport is, which Soprano Elite is, but it's not overly powdery. It has that beautiful, clean, masculine smell with enhanced woods as it dries. It's that simple. It smells great. Now, performance, like I hinted at here, 8+ hours. Really, it's more like 10 hours. It's a very long-lasting fragrance, as are pretty much every fragrance from Dumont that I've tried to this point. None of them have been really average performers. Everything's been very long-lasting to straight up ridiculously long-lasting. This is in the long-lasting category, kind of bordering ridiculous. 10 hours is a long time, guys. If you're awake for, let's say, 14, 15 hours of your day, the overwhelming majority of it is 10 hours, right? So that's most of your day, including work time and so on. So it's got the staying power. The projection, not overwhelming. I would call it in that moderate, slightly moderate to heavy, but let's just, for argument's sake, call it moderate, kind of arm's reach, maybe a little bit better early on for about an hour and a half. Let's call it hour to hour and a half, and then the sillage here is in that moderate to mild. So for argument's sake, we'll call it moderate to mild. Err on the side of caution for how we rate it with the slightly weaker tone, slightly weaker rating. So moderate to mild, because I do get decent whiffs of it where it kind of falls in between what I categorize as moderate and moderate to mild. Moderate to mild is typically light whiffs on occasion. Moderate, consistent, slightly stronger whiffs. So I'm saying this one's kind of an iffy spot in between. So we're going to call it moderate to mild through the life of the fragrance, which the life of the fragrance is, like I said, around 10 hours, so 8+ hours. It's quite long lasting. So across the board, I would not call this fragrance a beast, but I would call it well above average. Very strong stuff. Final thoughts on Soprano Elite from Dumont. I think this is actually superior to Le Male and because of its enhanced longevity, to Prada Luna Rossa Sport. I would say get this over those. It's not too often you'll hear me say get this over originals, but it does happen on occasion, and this is one of those occasions. Even with that said, I don't think it's upper echelon from Dumont. They do have some phenomenal stuff, most notably certain ones in the Nitro line, as well as in especially the Bruges line. That's all like their top tier stuff, in my personal opinion. But with that said, I do think this is still a very good fragrance. This is a 7.75 out of 10, bordering great. The reason I don't go beyond that is because the scent profile, I don't want to say has been done to death, because the nuance is actually closer to something that I think is superior. Because technically you could kind of look at Prada Luna Rossa Sport as more of an inspired fragrance by Le Male, but it's got its differences. This shares that profile, but undeniably similar to Le Male at the same time, just like Prada Luna Rossa Sport. So I think it's bordering great. It performs really well. The quality here is, I would say, above average, not niche level kind of stuff, but not super synthetic, cheap designer smell either. 7.75. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Soprano Elite. Love the color of this bottle. Love the way it smells, and the longevity is always an added bonus. Again, if you're interested in checking it out, there's a link down below with a code. If not, I appreciate you watching the video. And speaking of appreciation, I appreciate Perfume Box for sending this my way, so I was able to spend some time with it to bring you guys this review. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Soprano Elite and give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.